And I'm going to post it on Twitter just to, let people know that we're going now. Live now. All right.
Live now. Dun, dun,
Hello,
dun.
everybody,
Dun, dun,
and
dun, dun.
welcome to Adventure on so many levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm Christiana Ellis, the Dungeon Master, and tonight we are down one player. Alas, she's taking care of a little one at this current time, and so unfortunately Viv will not be able to join us this evening, but we do have Chooch Schubert as Otterkey.
Hello.
We do have Starla Hutchton as Nirakina Ethu.
Greetings and salutations.
Let me move your little. Oh no, your little name tag is lost. It's there. We go. And we have Mark Kilfoyle as Alaric Copperbeard.
Good evening.
So, where did we leave off? Well, last time you guys arrived back at the Carrot and Stick from the Stone Giant City. You were traveling via Windwalk spell cast by Amethyst, which allowed you to turn into sort of puffy white cloud versions of yourself and travel at great speed along the wind. On your way, you saw an extremely large tortoise-looking creature in the distance, and later learned that that was in fact the spirit of the Golden Plains, but you did not at that time approach it any closer. But you arrived back at the Carrot and Stick to discover that waiting for you there was a high elf that you had previously met in the city, who seemed a little shady, but you're not sure why he's waiting for you now. You decided to decloud yourselves in hiding at first, and said goodbye to Sir Wordleplex, the goblin paladin you had made brief acquaintance of, and on his way out he hoped that he wished you well and prayed that you would be basked in the glowing purple celestial light, and then made his way into the distance. And
I just realized what you dropped on us.
I did mention it again because you guys really didn't seem to pick up on that at all when I did it.
What did I just
Dang.
miss?
The glowing purple light of the Celestials.
This. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
he left, and your dragonborn and half-orc companions, Deke and Doke, glad to be back, went ahead and went into the shop while you guys went to confront this high elf. You discover, yeah, Prince Justin in the chat's like, now I get it. Yeah. While you guys went to confront this high elf, he apparently, you discovered that he had an encounter with one of the Fey Queens, and had been tasked and magically enchanted to believe that you all would lead him back to her. And you were concerned that that was probably not good for you guys. And yet he seemed utterly unpersuadable in attempting to convince him to do anything else. And combat broke out. At one point during the combat, he managed to get a charm effect on Amethyst, and I think you guys certainly recognized that Amethyst, prior to the fight, had certainly acknowledged the possibility that you guys might need to kill him, and then midway through the fight started insisting that you guys should help him. So I'll allow that you guys would recognize that she changed her affect during that fight. But in any event, after realizing fully that you guys were going to try to kill him. He did attempt to flee, but you didn't let him get away, and instead you cut him down, and he was killed. So
Some of us tried to let him get away. Or seek different outcomes.
you were not all on the same page during that fight. Let's put that in the most generous possible terms there. So
Archie was on multiple pages at once.
So, as we left things, the battle had concluded, and the dead high elf lay at your feet. Amethyst remained grumpy and insistent that you guys were all crazy, that you weren't trying to help him like she was. And Doak, from a little ways away, had appeared, and you told him that you needed a few things, but that you were probably going to be needing to leave tonight. And that's approximately where we left things. So, I think as we get started, Amethyst's immediately going to just stomp right up to you, Nira, and just say, "You have magic that can bring him back, right?"
Not at the moment.
"Why not?"
Are you all right?
"I want what we all want, which is for this problem to be solved, and in order to do that, we have to help him. And you've killed him now, so that's not helping, and the only thing I can think of is we need to bring him back. So, what do you need to do?"
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Mm-mm.
So,
I don't think you understand. It's not, that kind of magic is not cheap. And we can't afford him alive. We can't. We don't have that leisure. Like we
you think that killing him is just going to solve the problem? If the Fey Queen magically enchanted someone to come spy on us and we just killed him, you think that's going to solve the problem?
I can't fix what's wrong with him.
You could bring him back from the dead.
That's not all that's wrong with him.
I mean, we did try to send him away safely.
I appreciate that you want to help him. I get that. I do. I wanted to help him too. But it's just not...
Could have fooled me. We were just talking and you tried to strike him with lightning. And then you, Archie, he was trying to fly away and you chopped him down with your sword.
Yeah.
But look,
He
all of
tried
this
to
is solvable. We have magic. We can bring him back. If not today, then tomorrow.
Right. In theory, right. I can study, and I know a spell. The spirits have imbued me with a spell that can do it.
You guys,
And
it's not a good idea.
May have to get some components.
Well, Melicanth gave us those diamonds, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Now,
Look,
just as a DM question, who actually has those right now? Because I think Arky has them on his sheet.
yeah.
But would they have been on your person, or would they have been in the bag of holding which Amethyst has?
I had switched. I had switched them to my character sheet from the party sheet. I thought I had removed it from the party sheet.
Well, I mean, I know that in D&D Beyond you show it listed now, but I'm
Right.
asking in fiction.
Oh yeah, my intent was that he was taking.
Okay, so Otterkey has them.
That he would have them in his backpack. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think probably Amethyst might start going through the bag of holding to look for them and say, "Wait, did someone take the diamonds?"
Oh,
I hope not. We're going to need them.
nobody else has had that bag, right? Just you.
Well, yeah, but I was also not here for a while.
Well, no. I mean, I know. I just mean like outside the party. I don't think we ever had it out of our sight. They should be in there.
Now, are you guys? So, Ardarchy, are you
So that would be deception.
trying to? Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's
If
good.
we
You had
can
me
just
fooled.
make a quest out of it, she should snap out of it before we have to actually deliver.
All right. So,
I didn't-
gonna
you didn't
roll
even have to
insight for
say that
her,
you
contested with your deception.
Six.
I think she's just kind of folds her arms and taps her foot.
And I get a +4 to deception. Oh, yeah.
Look, I don't know what's wrong with all of you, but I know we've had some discussions about being bloodthirsty in the past, and look, it's not that I care about him. I just don't think that our problem is solved now. We need to help him get what he wants, and he'll leave us alone. Right now, our problem
what
is
he
not
wants
solved.
is going to get us killed.
We don't
What is
know
wrong
that.
with you? Yes, I do. She doesn't want us alive. She doesn't care. She's tricked him. Like I don't know what she did to affect him that way, but we can't fix it. And we can't stay here long enough. Like, we have to leave now. We can't stay here for this.
Well, look, if nothing else, can you at least just give me a minute with him? Like, you guys obviously happy with what happened here. Just give
Not
me a
happy.
minute with him.
I'm not happy,
Of course.
but there's things have been done, and things have consequences. Shoot Nira a look, and those consequences are going to catch up to us pretty soon. You can't take long. What do you plan to do anyway? He's not going to hear you.
I just want to talk to him a little bit. Try to understand how I can help him now that he's dead.
This is not a good idea.
Talk with the dead.
Yeah. Much as I don't like it, he's safer on the ground for now.
Look,
If he
Well,
can be brought back
fine,
later,
but-
then we can deal
so
with that then.
just give me a minute with him first then. Like, go dig a hole, whatever. Just give me a minute.
Nira sighs in irritation, and I'm going to go into the shop. Done with it. I can't convince her.
I'm going to
Oh,
grab the shovel and start digging, but I'm going to keep an eye and an ear out on Amethyst to try to make sure she doesn't do something stupid or
Okay.
worse, enchanted.
What about you, Arky?
yeah, I would help him
Okay.
dig.
Where are you digging?
Yeah,
Are
we've
you
already-
current
I really wanna
you
be-
guys you killed him and his body is currently within about 150 feet of the shop, kind of out
the
in the
field, though.
out in the grass. That's where it is now.
Yeah.
That tree was closer into the shop.
Yeah,
Is there another tree nearby?
not really. That's the only tree of like significant size, because that tree was kind of in the part of the land around the shop where the grass has been prevented from growing in. But as he was running away and getting a little further, he got just about to where the tall grass starts.
I think we'll have to go into the tall grass a bit.
Mm-hmm.
We can leave a marker, something we can find.
Okay. How far in are you going?
Not so far that I'm outside of earshot of Amethyst.
Okay. She's kneeled down next to him, though, so if you're into the tall grass, you're not really going to be able to see her.
Can I hear her?
I mean, it depends on how far you're going. If you're staying close enough that you would hear and want to continue making, perception check.
I think no more than 5 feet. in.
I'll go make a big
no more
show.
than 5 feet in?
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I'll whisper over to Alaric. I'll make a big show of the digging sounds, and you can keep track of her.
Do you know what's happened to her? Something's wrong.
I think, yeah, I think he touched her mind briefly, but it should pass.
I worry that the
Should
Fae
pass tomorrow.
transferred to her now.
I don't think so. I think it's just a temporary effect.
I hope so.
But
I don't know how to fix it.
I'll make a show of it so she'll think we're both over there, and you can keep track of her.
All right. So maybe you dig in about 10 feet away, and I'll hide in the tall grasses.
Are you trying to hide where you can actually watch her, or you're just trying to still listen from close distance?
I'll still try
So
to.
I'm going to be
a little
stomping loud and shoveling, and he can.
Where you can watch?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and make a stealth check to hide for me.
Ooh, first roll of the night. That's a 28.
Well, she rolled a 2 for her perception, so. Well, the die was a 2. She has a better modifier than that, but I think she didn't beat 28 for sure. That you go ahead and you have hidden. The hole is starting to be dug. Let's follow Nira in to the shop. As you make your way in, you encounter that same little sort of living room kitchen version of the structure, and you see you don't actually see anyone else in there at the moment, but shortly after you come in, Doak comes around the corner from the back room holding like a couple of blankets over one arm and a shovel. He says, Alaric said these were needed.
Didn't Archie already start digging? Did we have this?
Yeah. Alaric had requested a shovel last time, so
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, right, yeah.
he's digging with his sword. It's a magic sword. It's sharp.
I'm sure you can magic up something. They're all pretty skilled at that.
I say, yeah, they're out in the field. Actually, you know what? Oh God, I don't. I feel like if I want to stay, but I also don't want him to. I don't want Amethyst to get like suspicious of stuff. Crap. Okay, so I'm going to take the things and say, oh, right, here, I'll take that. It's fine.
What happened? I mean, you guys seemed like you were just going to chase him away. Did he fight back? He seems harmless.
Yeah, he used to be. You know how we have these anti-detection bracelets?
Yeah.
He's a workaround. Was a workaround.
Yeah. You know, I've been kind of thinking about, everything that you guys are up to and kind of what that means, and I don't know that I understand all of it. Obviously that halfling lady said some scary stuff, and I think after fighting those mercenaries, I was a little, I guess I just hadn't really thought about that part of being an adventurer, like having to make tough decisions like that.
There's two sides to every coin. There's the shiny, exciting side of adventuring, but there's also the risks that you take and the ones you have to decide whether or not to take them.
Yeah. One of the things that I always had heard, it's like just like a lesson growing up, in a place like Ushbithra, it's like people don't follow rules all the time, and you don't always know how, what's your assessment of someone. You have to just kind of go by instinct, right? And also have to be able to kind of roll with whatever happens, but in the big picture, you plant seeds and you don't know what is going to grow until it grows. And I guess I'm saying in a confusing way that the seed of our little adventure turned into the stone giants being freed and that dragon being killed. And, fighting those mercenaries wasn't like part of the plan, but we also didn't choose that. I don't know. It's complicated, but I guess, are you guys, is what Alaric said true? Are you leaving tonight?
I think we're going to have to, if for no other reason than to keep you guys safe. It's being around us isn't the healthiest of things that a person can do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm starting to get that, but I guess I want to thank you guys, and I suppose if no one's out there to make the hard decisions, then they don't get made, and it's the bad guys that get to make them.
Exactly. Things aren't as cut and dried as we like to think they are. And I can't say that I'm glad you seem to have learned a lesson, because it's not a pleasant lesson. And so I'm sorry for that much.
Well, I guess it's part of growing up, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, kind of liked that goblin though. Like he was, like, seemed like he had things figured out. Just going around and like protecting the weak. Like that's what sounds like fun to me. I mean, that's dangerous, but I don't know. I guess that would get complicated too.
Yeah, he said something that in reflection is poking at me. I can't quite put my finger on it yet, but
that guy was all sorts of weird. He said, like, everything he said was strange.
Well, we seem to attract that, so.
I'm going to go ahead and we'll cut back over, because as Otterkey is digging apparently with a sword or something, you want to tell us what you're doing? You're digging with your hands, trying to clear the grass away?
Yeah. Alaric had said I pick up the shovel, so
yeah.
I was
okay, so
with that.
fine. We'll say that Doak had gone back to get another shovel. We don't have to make that weird. All right. So in any event, though, you're digging, and Alaric, you're watching Amethyst, and as you watch her, she kind of sits and kneels by Turlin's body, and then kind of, sort of, like, gets her arms under him, like to sort of cradle him on her lap a little bit, and then she's just kneeling there with her head down, quietly, kind of just like she's praying over him. But as you watch over the next 30 seconds or so, she starts looking a little bit translucent.
What do you mean translucent?
Like you can see through her a little bit.
I'm going to nonchalantly come out of the weeds as if I had to go get something, and kind of stomp off in that direction. Sorry, Amethyst. I didn't mean to. Hey, are you all right?
She ignores you. She's still kind of holding him, and like she's concentrating. And I think as you get a little closer, and as it's progressing, you are definitely recognizing that she is activating the Windwalk effect while holding him.
Is he changing too?
Yes. She's holding him.
Amethyst, and I will try to shake her shoulder as if concerned about her, because I am concerned about her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give her. I'll make her do a concentration check. Even though technically this is not a concentration. Well,
The-
know what? It's not a
the-
concentration effect.
Well, you have to concentrate for a minute to change, don't you?
Right, but it's not like like a spell concentration. So I guess because the spell doesn't say that you have to do a concentration check if you're interrupted or whatever. Like I feel like the implication is that you could keep doing it if you wanted to, but what I'll do though is I'll say that at least now, just from being shaken, I'll have her make a check with advantage.
Okay.
Against, I guess, 10, because there's no damage. Well, that was a natural 20, the first roll, so I would say just shaking her is not getting the job done. She is ignoring you and attempting to ignore you and concentrating, and it looks like you might only have about another 12 seconds or so before she'll...
Can I grab him and wrench him out of her grasp?
Yeah, so let's make a like a contested strength or athletics check for that.
Okay. Crap. 15.
She has a -1, but rolled a 19.
Jeez.
I will
She's
have
determined.
her. Yeah, I will have her roll another concentration check though. This time it's a little harder, it's just the one roll, and that's a 3. So I think she manages to hang on to him, but you see her start looking more solid again, and she's just saying, "Stop it, Alaric. You seemed like you didn't want him to die either. So just let me take him away. Tomorrow morning I can bring him back.
It
No one
wouldn't
else
be
is
safe.
going to."
It wouldn't be safe for you to go off on your own. You should know that. And
Well, I wouldn't
you'd be-
have to go off on my own if you guys wouldn't do whatever it is that you're doing. I don't understand why we can't just bring him back. If Nira would cooperate, she could do it.
We can't do it today. This much we know, right? Both of the two that could do it say they can't. So it would have to happen tomorrow. But we know that we're in danger if we stay here today. So we can't stay here. We can't travel with him. He's too heavy. He's too bulky. So we have to put him somewhere safe. We'll be putting him underground, wrapped in a blanket tightly. He should be fine.
And then leave? How does he get brought back then?
We can come back, but we can't stay here overnight. They won't expect us to come back, and we can circle back later if we need to. That'd be the best way. Amethyst, it's the only safe way.
Do you as Alaric have any actual intention to do that, or are you just hoping to ride out whatever charm effect she's got?
Honestly, whether he's brought back later, I'm not really as concerned about it. I don't like the fact that he's dead. I don't like the fact that he died.
Because
But
it
I know
seems
that
like
he's too dangerous to bring back right now.
yeah, I mean, it seems like
So
that's
it's
not the
half a lot.
argument you're making, though. So that
It's
sounds like a deception
plausible-
check.
It is. Or persuasion.
Well, I'm just thinking, though, that it's not persuasion because the argument you're making is you're trying to imply that the plan would be to leave now and then come back in time to bring him back.
I'm trying to persuade her that it's a reasonable plan.
Well, I think
it's
she would
true.
immediately just say then, like, I know the way you and the others are acting. If we leave, we're not coming back, and then he's just going to be like an albatross around our neck. There's a poem I heard of somewhere that's about that. Like,
Don't go listen
look,
to poetry. This only leads to trouble.
we killed him. Do you think whoever sent him sent someone that we knew? Do you think it's going to stop there? What if the next
No.
person that they charm and do this to is someone we really care about?
I don't think
We
they're
need
going
another
stop
way
him.
to solve this problem, and I think we have to bring him back.
I don't think that's going to solve anything, Amethyst.
Well,
We already know
killing
who
him
sent
sure didn't.
I'm not happy with that either, Amethyst. But I don't have another solution. This is the only way that we can deal with this in any form. Maybe we won't come back. I can't say what the future will hold. I've never been able to predict more
where
than a
would
day.
we even go? What is the plan? We don't have any kind of a plan.
We just have to get away from here. If we don't, we're going to harm Doak and Carrot and Stick and Deke, the people we just fought to save, and the people that love them. And if we don't leave, they're in danger. So, Amethyst, I know you're upset about him, but think of them as well. You've been a person to care about people. I know this.
I do care about them. I care about
And
all of
care
us.
about-
And I feel like that to solve our problem, we need to just help him. And
It's not going to
and
solve our
if
problems.
look, if we can't do it till tomorrow and we have to leave tonight, then we bring him with us.
How?
Well, how are we even going to travel at all?
Well, you know how we're going to travel. That part's not so hard.
Well, if we're going to travel with my windwalk spell, then I can carry him.
Can you
That's
carry
what I was
him?
trying to do before you stopped me.
Can you lift him right now?
I'm going to have her make a strength check. Well, she rolled a 2 and has a -1 modifier, so I would say she is struggling and kind of manages to get him up like lurched over one shoulder, but she doesn't look
I
like
push
she
her
could
over.
really.
I push her
Okay.
over because she's in a vulnerable position, and I
Yeah.
demonstrate to her that she is.
Right.
Is that what you want? To be weaker?
Well, I wouldn't
We can't
have to
help
do
her
it
today.
myself if you weren't all out of your minds right now.
We can't lift anything in that strange cloud form. You know this. We've even tried to lift things and move. We can't. We can't touch anything.
Well, if we're holding him when we change, we can.
Are you sure of that?
Did all of your clothes stay behind when you changed the last time?
I can easily carry those. I didn't try to carry something I can't normally carry.
You could carry him. Or
I'd rather-
Archie could. Or Nira could.
Fine. I'll try. Hand him over.
Mhm.
And I will try to concentrate. To become
Are you
calm.
still digging during all of this, Archie? You definitely would have overheard this conversation by now.
Yeah, because my inclination was to say throw him in the bag, but don't necessarily really
You
want
can go
to
ahead and
take
make an
him.
athletics check, Alaric, unless you are deliberately trying to make it seem like he's too heavy, in which case you can do a performance check for me.
What I'm actually going to try to do is see what happens if I let go of him just before I turn into a cloud.
If you let go right before, like in order to try to deliberately make it not work and disguise the fact that that's what you're doing?
Kind of what I'm trying to do. I could just be clumsy. She may not know. Or I might be right. She might not know that either.
Yeah. I think my only hesitation there is that I kind of already ruled that he was starting to change with her when she was trying to do it.
True. All right. I will change with him and see what happens.
Okay. So you are doing the change while you hold him?
Sure.
Okay. He seems to be changing with you.
All right.
And you go ahead.
I
and
will do. No, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to change with him.
Okay. And what you find is that you essentially, it feels about the same in terms of when you were holding him physically. He does change with you, and you do sort of feel like you could still move, but at a slower total speed.
Okay. I demonstrate by moving slower.
And she's kind of like, see, you can do it.
And then I kind of stumble a little bit and move even slower. And slower. Stop for a moment. In my gaseous form, look as though I'm trying to
Go ahead and
Catch
make
my
an
breath.
insight check. All right.
insight. Oh, good
Yeah.
Lord. That's an 18.
She's charmed. You can't persuade her.
Yeah. But there's always a way around these things.
Mhm.
Wonder how long it lasts. How long does this flying thing last? Do we know how many? We were told a certain amount of
Yeah.
hours.
Did
right?
you change back? Yeah. Well, so I think she would have mentioned that it's 8 hours from when it was originally cast, which was, I'd say, maybe an hour ago.
Okay. Well, I guess I got 7 hours of running to do, and I proceed to hide from her.
Okay. You're hiding with Cloud Terillin?
Yep.
All right. Well, so I would say make a stealth check with advantage because you're a cloud.
Doesn't it also take a full
Oh my
minute
God.
No,
for
well,
her
he
to-
already turned, and yeah,
Right,
it would take
right.
a full minute for her to do it. What? Wait, what did you roll?
Double ones.
Double ones.
That's amazing.
Wow.
run fast?
So
Yeah,
run
so-
only
fast.
get a 13 with my bonus.
I
if-
think
if they-
what
if
you
it's an
find
phenomenal
is
fail.
that you are hoisted on your own petard a little bit by the fact that you move slow enough while carrying him that she is able to just follow you, and she is reading you the riot act of like, what are you trying to do? Are you running away from me?
I can't enter, so I'm not going to. And I will just move slowly, determinedly, and just start walking.
All right.
She can
Well,
probably keep
she's
up
so
to me,
yeah.
but
Well, I think you're slower than you would be, but otherwise you would be moving 10 times as fast. So I think you can still definitely outpace her if you just keep going.
And can I still use my bonus action to dash so I can effectively triple move every round as opposed
Well,
to
I mean,
doubling?
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So
And I'm just
basically,
gonna-
you're not like hidden, like you're sort of like just sort of, you know, but you make a trail. You just like you leave the little cloud of dust only once. It's like it's a cloud of dust leaving a cloud of dust.
It's not the most elegant solution. but
And
it's a solution.
I think she kind of at a certain point realizes she can't keep up and just says, "That's just great. That's just great. Like, so you stopped me from carrying him away, but now you're just going to carry him away. It's real mature." That's not what Amethyst would say, but that's fine. Maybe it is. All right. Well, so she's gonna go back and sulk by the tree.
That's better than other alternatives.
All right. So are you still digging, Archie, at this point?
Um,
Can I
Well-
move by where Archie is and kind of see if he can make out the cloud of me and and Tara Flynn?
Yeah.
I know we're kind of indistinct, but
Yeah. I mean, if you kind of got far enough away and then sort of doubled back around.
you know, holding him over the shoulder, and there's just sort of like a shrug.
oh wow. Toss him in.
I don't think I can let him go.
Yeah. No, you can. You just find that he just sort of kind of drifts down like
Yeah, I'm
just
gonna
sort
keep
of a
a hold of
settling
him.
smoke.
It's much easier to keep a hold of him in case that the other one gets this idea. So I keep a hold of him
Okay.
and shrug and keep moving.
Hmm.
I knew there's a solution. It's a terrible one. I love the fact that I rolled level ones. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have just taken
Let's hope
off with
she
her.
wears off soon.
So I think at this point, all of you hear first what sounds like wood splintering and groaning, and then a little bit of like a cry of like surprise from Amethyst over by the tree.
Does that include me inside the house?
I'll say, we'll make a perception check. You've got pretty good senses, so I think you've got a chance of hearing it.
No, yeah, no, I don't. I rolled a 2.
Yeah. So yeah, I
I'll
think
run
near.
to her.
Yeah. You. So Alaric, Articky, are you guys running over?
Yeah, I would run over.
I'm gonna fly at a height and see if I can just see over.
Okay. What you catch just the glimpse at the end of Autarky is Amethyst is standing by the tree, kind of looking at it and stunned, as the tree has sort of spread open and there's sort of like a door, like a portal opened in it, and you see just the silhouette of what looks like Archdruid Evergreen, looking like he's concentrating, and he's waving through a small figure that emerges, and it appears to be Andry. And then he backs through the tree, and it closes back to normal,
Wait, that could
leaving
be bad.
Andry behind.
Yeah, that's probably bad.
Andrew. Well,
I'm not going any closer.
Okay.
I-
Amethyst like says, Andrea. She runs up and hugs her.
yeah, I'll run over. Welcome back. Is everything okay at home?
No, not at all. Actually, we don't have much time. The very first question is, of course, where is Melicanth?
Uh,
Okay. Well, at least she's not right around here, so that's score one for us at the moment.
oh,
She's been lying to you guys. I don't have the full picture yet, but Archdruid Evergreen told me some stuff, and I don't think that we've got to get that artifact away from her, you guys. This is not good. She didn't tell us everything about why she left Villanocta. She's lying to you. I'm not even sure she really has the artifact. She may have hidden it somewhere and just be pretending to still have it on her.
Can
It's
can I float around to where I can be seen by Otterkey?
Mhm.
And can I make a gesture that he can see?
uh sure. What
Okay.
gesture are you trying to make?
I'm pointing at Andrew,
Okay.
pointing at Amethyst. I'm making this kind of signal, and then a kind of questioning hand. And he may or may not. I can roll a performance if if that allows me to give more words to it, but he can try to interpret that too.
Yeah. I think that just based on your description, Archie can decide
seems
how you
pretty
interpret that.
clear.
So Andrea, I think, just kind of says, is everyone okay? Is Nero okay? I mean, we tried to come sooner, but there was something blocking the tree that just went down just a few minutes ago. But we've got to do something because Melicanth cannot be trusted. He gave me some stuff to try to help. I'm not an expert with the magic stuff. She's digging into a little pouch like at her belt, and it's like basically what she said is, or what he said is that these gems have something to do, and she's pulling out like these purple gems that are very similar in color to the portals. And he said, confront her with these and she'll have to tell the truth. I don't even know what that means, but that's what Archdruid said. He didn't come through himself because Melicanth would know something's up if she saw him. She probably shouldn't see me. You know, I got captured by the Tashmian military when you guys left. I bet she didn't tell you that.
You got what happened?
Well, as soon as you guys left, the army just suddenly turned and they were searching for you guys like you were public enemy number one. And I was tried to sneak out of the city, but I got caught. And they were going to take me all the way to Pashan and interrogate me or something. And I received a magical communication from Melicanth checking on me, and I told her what was up, and then nothing.
Hmm.
Archdruid Evergreen rescued me.
Wow. Well, we definitely have a lot to talk about.
Where's Nira? Is she here? I mean, where is?
We
I'll fly into the building if I can find a crack to squeeze through.
Okay. I
then-
think that you find that even though there are some places where it looks like there should be a crack, you can't actually get through.
Are there windows?
Yes, but you find they seem to be repelling you somehow.
But can I see inside?
Yes.
Can I see Nira?
Yeah.
Then I will wildly make gestures to see if I can catch her attention.
want to make another perception check there, Nira?
Sure, let's hope it goes better. Yes, better that time. That is a 22.
Yeah, I think at this point, yeah, you kind of get something in the corner of your eye, and you look out the window, and you see Alaric again as a cloud, kind of waving frantically to get your attention.
Oh no, this doesn't seem good. Oh, okay. All right. I'm just going to leave the blankets and shovels. Something tells me we don't need this right now. Just
So
wait
it's kind
here.
of just like, is something happening again? Because do you need help? Like, should I get my mom's? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. That's it. I don't know. Stay here. Tell your moms that we may have to leave like immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
And he turns and goes around.
Okay. And I would like to go to the door and just peek out, see what I see first.
Okay. Yeah, I think as you kind of follow Alaric's sort of pointing, you see Amethyst and Otterkey over by that big tree, talking to what seems to be Andry. You know, your little halfling companion over there, and Amethyst is kind of just hugging her and just saying, like, I don't know what to think here, because Melicanth seems to be like the only one who knows what's going on here. I mean, we were all there when she told the whole story. I mean, the way she told it, like, it didn't seem like she was leaving anything out. And Andrew,
Yeah, Nira doesn't buy shit that Melican says. I'm suspicious, but I'm going to go out and see what's going on.
okay.
And I would go ahead and use my divine sense just to see if she's throwing off any bad juju.
Okay. What's the full range?
Detect good and evil. Range. It does not have a range.
Well, detect good and evil is
Within 60 feet.
okay, 60 feet. Yeah,
Location
so
of
you
celestials,
use
fiends, undead. Yeah.
you use your sense, and you expand your consciousness, and Andrew pings as a fiend.
Ah. Cool. Awesome. That changes things. Damn, I don't have any spell slots.
So, what is your demeanor as you discover this information?
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna try to have a poker face.
All right, go ahead and try to make a deception roll.
16.
All right, you managed to keep it together pretty well. She doesn't seem to notice.
This is so much.
I think she catches Nira looking and just kind of waving like.
Nira is suspicious, especially after somebody she already knew tried to come at them with some, like, how are these people finding us? Not supposed to be able to do that. Okay. So where is everybody positioned? Like, who would be facing me where they could see me in the doorway?
Well, so the tree, as you recall, like if you're facing the door, if you're in the doorway facing out, the tree is about 60 feet away, kind of off to the left.
Okay, and who can I see besides Andrew? Amethyst
and Otterkey are standing right there, and then Alaric in cloud form was close to you, presumably, unless he moved again.
Okay. So I'm I'm gonna hold up a finger like this. So say, be right there, you know, just a second. And I'm gonna go back in.
Okay. I think Amethyst at this point is kind of saying, look, I'm sure that all of this can be cleared up. Look, if this stuff you say, it can make Melicanth tell the truth. I mean, I trust Archdruid Evergreen, so if that's what he says we need to do, then at least we can give her an opportunity to, like, answer for this. I mean, if she didn't tell us that you were imprisoned, I kind of want to know that. And Andrew's saying, like, yeah, I think we just need to be prepared in case she turns on us once she's forced to tell the truth. So let's just all keep that in mind. And so I think Amethyst is going to kind of stand up and look around and just say, Malakath? Are you here? Nira, is she in there?
I think maybe we should take the discussion inside in case there's other not so great, you know, people around, or who knows. There's been all kinds of tracking going on, and I think we should get inside. Why don't Andy,
where is that? What is inside? I mean, what is in there?
Oh, it's just a shop. It's just a shop.
Okay.
But there's friends here you know.
What kind of shop? Melicanth's friends?
No. No, nobody that really likes her.
Make another deception check.
Isn't that the truth?
Well, it's a lie of omission for sure.
They know her, but I don't know how close they are.
It's 12.
Okay. I think at this point, Andrew kind of hesitates and just kind of narrows her eyes just a little bit and says, damn it. So,
And we're all out of spell slots.
so, Autarky, you know, I'm getting the feeling like you, not trusting me here. I mean, I get that you're maybe jumpy, but are you being, like, are you trying to trick me? What's going on here?
Trick you? Well, okay.
I think Amethyst
Yes.
is looking confused, like, what?
Yeah, I'm essentially just stalling.
While I am in the shop, I think I'm going to change my mind and see if I can. I need carrot and stick.
Okay. Yeah, Doak has actually kind of sort of come back with them, and he actually comes out with Melicanth and carrot and stick, and they look like carrot is kind of shrugging into like sort of a utility vest with a few things, various things on it, and just kind of said, so what seems to be the problems? We've got more trouble outside? And then Stick is actually just gives you kind of a dirty look, Mira. Just like,
I don't know. It's strange. Our friend Andrea is out there, which it doesn't seem like she should be. She said she was going home, and that was when we were on. That was before we came here.
Melicanth just says, Andrea's outside?
Well, that's as much as I could see. I haven't spoken to anybody.
We didn't tell her where we were going before we.
No, and we have these non-detection charms. So how could she track us down?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm concerned. I don't know what's going on out there. Is it safe in here? Like, could we get the others in? And like,
I think Melicanth would just say, well, okay, so I think to answer that, Stick would just say, I believe we are safe inside here, but I don't know what we are dealing with. And Melicanth just kind of says, I don't understand what's happening here, so I think we should attempt to get everyone inside. And I know Andri was your friend, but she could have been tracked here, even if it's her. I think we should just need to get everyone inside and teleport from here.
I'm going to look at Kara and I hate to rush this, but is there any way, are things packed for us to just take and go? We don't want any more trouble for you.
Carrot kind of just says, yeah, well, Melicanth's been telling us a little bit of what you got going on. Doesn't seem terribly smart, if you ask me. But
Believe me, I know.
I can get your stuff packed up for you in another bag of holding, no problem. But Alaric and Otterkey and Amethyst are still out there?
They're still out there. We need to get them in.
I think Melicanth looks to you and just says, I will retrieve them. And then all of a sudden there's kind of just like a whoosh of wind and like kind of as before, suddenly she has buffed herself in several ways. She's got sort of like sort of a arcane glimmer over her and like she's sort of glistening with some sort of like an arcane fire over her and she's hovering off her feet just a little bit.
Well, Nira hates to admit it, but she's a little impressed.
She just says, I will bring everyone inside. And
can I still see Alaric in the window?
What are you doing in the meantime, Alaric?
Sorry, I was being quiet as a cloud. Yeah, I would still be kind of keeping a mid-distance so I can see the front door, the window, and what's going on outside. Mm-hmm. Hovering probably, 15 feet off the ground, though.
All right. Okay, yeah, so that, I guess you would still see him, Nira?
Yeah, I'm going to tap on the window and get him to come inside.
Yeah. If you
come in.
If you try to go through the open door, you can, Alaric.
I'll zip in through the door then.
All right. And at this point, I think Melicanth is going to come out of the door and just immediately in a like magically amplified voice and just almost like cracks of thunder resound in the sky as she just says, Amethyst, Otterkey, come inside the shop now. And Andri is just gonna kind of say, well, that works. And then she goes and she throws this little pouch of crystals in Melicanth's direction. And I'll let all of you make a perception check at this point. Let's see.
15.
14.
All right.
13.
Okay. Well, first, I guess the throw has happened. Is anyone else doing anything immediately?
I was gonna warn Carrot and Stick about Amethyst being crazy, but I don't think there's time for that. So.
I would certainly yell fiend because
okay.
the game is up.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would attempt to block them in some way if it was possible.
Okay. I think trying to decide how much
Like my
leeway
shield and
to give
protection
you
and whatnot.
here. Um, I'll let you
I'm
make a dexterity saving throw. But
I'm resistant to damage, but that implies that I can still take damage.
yes, you basically just any kind of damage would be halved.
So can I move in front of Melicanth?
Stuff can move through you, but yeah, you can try to just get in the way and just sort of like
It's
physically,
sort of-
yeah. And then I'll let Archie make a roll for a dexterity saving throw, but as a warning,
Okay.
it's going to be high.
Sure.
It's got to be high.
Yeah. Yeah. Dex saving throw plus 5. 19 plus 5, 24.
That's pretty high. Yeah, I think that.
And my shield is that elemental reflection shield thingy.
Yeah, well, I think what happens is you make a leap, and you you snatch the bag out of the air, and you stop it in its trajectory. But as you're coming down, the crystals sort of spill out of it, and let's see what happens now. There's a lot going on right now. I think at this point, Melicanth is going to. Sorry, I need to have more than one tab open here because there's a lot. Some.
A lot of moving parts.
No,
Yeah.
no, moving to a second tab. Things are dangerous now.
Well, I'm trying to decide how best to deal with various pieces of this. Okay. I think. Let's see. Yeah, Archie. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 17 plus 7, so another 24.
Okay. Yeah, once again, you find a presence trying to overwhelm your brain, but you are able to shake it off. And at this point, the Melicanth is going to float closer and just, again, in this magically amplified voice, say, Autarky, Amethyst, move away from her.
So, if I'm able to, I'll try to grab Amethyst as
Okay. Yeah.
head towards the door and again say, "Fiend!" Point Andrew. She's a fiend.
Yeah. So as you guys are trying to move away from her, the all of a sudden off to one side, you see in space, just in the middle of the air, a tear begin to open
Ah, crap.
with purple light. And then Melicanth immediately turns in that direction, and as she does, Andri dives to the ground and scoops up the crystals and then throws them again. And then there is a lot of flashing lights and magical effects that are a little difficult to parse. I think that Nira, what you recognize in the middle of this is that a lot of things are happening at once. There is a primary effect and a counter spell and a counter spell, and then a third magical effect happening in the space of a second or so.
Colors.
But
Can
when
I
it
move
finishes,
to, can I move to intercept those crystals again?
no,
Okay.
sorry, she moved away. I'm cinematicing
Sure.
some of this. As all of that, the flashing light fades away, the crystals drop to the ground, now glowing, and Melicanth is gone. And Andrew kind of just says, thanks for the assist, boss. Sorry it didn't go as smoothly as we hoped. And Zorath steps out of the tear. And
Dude, what's your problem? Really?
and he just kind of looks at all of you and just says, what's my problem? I told you exactly what my problem was. Melicanth is not to be trusted. She betrayed me, and she deserves this fate.
She
And he-
betrays everybody, but we
and he
need
goes
her.
and kneels down by the these crystals that are now glowing on the ground. He picks one up and says, ironic, I think.
Can I cast Shatter on one of the crystals?
Yeah.
no, I probably
you,
shouldn't.
no, you can. Yeah, go for it. You can.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna do that.
All right. The one that he's holding.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
I have
a
those.
Constitution saving throw for him.
Yes.
Okay.
A creature made of inorganic materials such as stone, crystal, or metal has disadvantage on the saving throw. So, I don't know if that.
He got a 7 on his saving throw.
Oh, then he is going to take 48 damage.
All right. Oops.
That is 15, 24. And that's thunder damage, so I think
15, 24? 24 damage?
24.
Okay, and he's not knocked back or anything that doesn't have a shockwave, it's just the damage?
Yeah, because I think that's just for lightning.
Right.
And then I don't know where everything is anymore. Okay.
Okay. you see him sort of, like he is sort of pushed, like he cringes backward. He's clearly been injured by this spell effect, and you see him sort of shaking a little bit, and he dropped the gem that he was holding. And as you look, now that it's cleared, all of the gems that were on the ground have now fractured into little pieces, but the one that he was holding, the glowing one, is intact. And he just kind of says, I'm not sure what you were hoping to have happen there, but the gem is an enchanted gem now. It cannot be destroyed by such meager effects.
Look, I don't trust her any more than you do. I don't. Believe me, I don't.
I had hoped that we might come to this outcome without the use of deception. But even though you all claim to not trust her, you allow her to maintain possession of the most important magical artifact ever created. You take her at her word for everything she tells you that is true about this situation. And you scoff at me and yet tell me one thing that you have done to investigate whether or not she is actually the expert on this matter.
Oh, I know she's not the expert on the matter, but we don't have any other alternatives right now.
Why not? Because she
I don't know,
told
we
you
could
you
ask
don't?
you. No, we could ask you.
Yeah, you could.
We didn't know where to find you.
I think at this point, Carrot and Stick are in the doorway and looking very, afraid. And I think Carrot just kind of says, Nira, I think the original plan of you all coming inside still seems like the right idea to me.
I don't want to fight you. There's just not any point.
I don't wish to fight either. I don't think any of us want the universe to end. So how about we discuss this in a civilized way without this know-it-all wood elf interfering. You understand what it's like to have the mark, just as I do. What did she do? She used a magical artifact that she was given and barely understood. We have been marked. If anyone can save the universe, it's us, not her.
Well, we don't disagree.
At this point, Andri is... Are you trying to turn back, Alaric, or no? All right. At this point, Andri kind of just says, so I guess the game's up, so, I mean, I don't have to stay as Andri. I mean, like, there's no point now, right?
Please don't.
Yeah.
She starts to grow and transform into the figure that you recognize as the assistant to the Tashmian ambassador back in Villanocta, was the last form you saw her in. She says, "Hi.
Oh, God.
I was still
Wait,
hoping we
we
could
don't
travel
know.
together like we planned before Melicanth poisoned your mind against me."
You're trouble. We have enough.
Oh, come on.
You are fun.
You don't
though.
think it would be fun?
No,
You are
no.
fun,
Your
though.
idea of fun and mine, different.
Oh, really? Yeah, you know what? I watched that whole encounter with that high elf and what you did with him. Yeah? You telling me our ideas of fun aren't that different?
That wasn't fun. That was necessary. There's a difference.
Yeah, all right. If you say so.
Whatever.
Zorath kind of just kind of glances over at her and is like, if you had done a better job at deceiving them, all of this could have been accomplished without revealing your nature. She's like, I didn't really want to be that goody-goody halfling anyway. Alaric is making all sorts of gestures, and I think Zorath just kind of, at this point, maybe kind of just glances over and just kind of gives you a look of like,
He could turn back. No.
Well, we've got other interesting games going on.
listen,
So, conversation.
no one who is not marked by the artifact is going to be able to understand what we must do.
Where we go, Alaric goes.
Does he feel the same? Looks over at the cloud.
Yeah.
And he's pointing at
Definitely
them,
doesn't
kind of
want
like
the universe to end.
proudly, kind of gesturing. That's about all they can do.
So, here's my suggestion. Given that you are all being hunted by many powerful beings besides me, and given that I believe you have been exposed to one of the Fey Queens of all people, I would suggest that you come with me through this fissure to where we can discuss all of this in safety.
And where does this one
And he
go?
points at Cloud Alaric again and says, he doesn't get a vote.
Yeah, I'm with Archie. What's through there?
Where does this one go?
The elemental plane of Earth.
Does that mean anything to Nirug?
I mean, you could guess.
Earth means dirt, so
It is not beneath the ground in the sense of being buried alive. It is a cavern.
how do I know we can trust you?
Who can you trust other than me?
You killed Amethyst, whether or not that was your intention.
I also returned her to life. And it was the only way I had to maintain and regain my physical form after you all left me scattered across the plains. By interrupting a ritual that you didn't understand.
Nobody's perfect.
True.
No, nobody is perfect. However, I am the one who can tell you what really must be done. Melicanth would have you just exacerbate the effect, run for your lives in a desperate attempt, a fool's mission to essentially wreak havoc across the multiverse in a desperate attempt to fix her mistakes instead of solving the problem. The problem is that the universe is ending, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps undoing something she regrets is not the only way to do that. But it's the only way she would tell you.
If we go through that fissure, how do we know that you'll let us come back?
Would you want to come back here?
Well,
Why?
depends on what you have to say and what we believe. I mean, so can we agree, this would be a straight up parlay, neutral, and hear you out and we make our decision?
I have made my offer, but I don't actually need your help. All I really needed was this, and he goes down to pick up the glowing gem again. And he tosses it back through the rift. You can come with me, or close the fissure behind me. Up to you. And then he goes back through the fissure. And then Jinxie, who you definitely have, I think, all figured out by now, is just kind of standing around just saying, so, I'm still up for being adventuring buddies. I don't know about you guys. I know that it's, it was a little prank I had to play on you here, but it was all in the effort of getting you away from that fussy wood elf who was just leading you astray anyway. So, no harm, no foul, right? I mean, she banished me to Pandemonium. You think that's fun?
That's where you went?
Yeah. It sucks.
Oh, we know. We've been there. Got that t-shirt.
Well, then you know. So I've been there for a while, and it took making a deal of my own to get out, but I'm a little stronger now, so that's good. And I can help you out if you just willing to bring me along. It's been a while since I had buddies.
Yeah, I don't think Archie's gonna go for that. Sorry. It's nothing personal.
Come on, Archie.
I don't know. I mean,
Alaric just
means
continues to, as a cloud,
and
make various gestures and body language without still apparently trying to come back. And I think at this point, Garrett is kind of just standing there saying, now, what just happened? It seemed like he just turned Melicanth into a gem. What are you doing?
We're trying to clean up somebody else's mess.
I think we need to follow him.
I think so too. I don't think we have a choice.
I think Stick at this point takes the other bag of holding and then just tosses it out and just says, I would ask that you sweep up the mess when you leave.
We will.
Absolutely.
I do not hold this against you, but I would ask you to not bring it back here.
Absolutely. It's never our intention.
I think Doak and Deke kind of peek out and just kind of like, what's happening?
Keep your son safe. And I'm gonna pick up the bag on my way to the fissure.
All right.
Yeah, we got to head to another plane for a little bit. We'll catch up with
Alaric.
It's like,
So somebody should grab Amethyst, I guess, right?
I think Amethyst, has been just kind of looking back at all of this. Like, actually, you know what? I think during all that conversation, she probably would have gone over to Cloud Alaric and just said, "Where'd you leave his body? Dylan's body. Where is it?"
it's on my shoulder still.
Oh, still? Yeah.
What
Okay.
I'm
So I guess
gesturing
that
to
she,
right now
if
with
she,
Emma.
she sees that, then she's just going to say, "Come on, if we're doing this, then let's bring him through. If we're not, then change back or whatever."
As soon as she's through the fissure, drop it. Nira's already gone. She's going through.
All right.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I'll grab the other bag of holding, I suppose. We don't want to leave it on the ground. And
I think
tell Amethyst.
Jinxie kind of leans over as you're doing that. It's like, that was a nice catch when you interrupted my throw there. Like,
Oh,
it was a, you know, it was all kind of a little crazy there for a minute,
yeah.
but it's just
Thanks.
no hard feelings.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, you got the rebound, so come on, Amethyst. I have a feeling they can straighten him out. And
So I think Amethyst is kind of just looking at everyone and just kind of keeps looking back to Alark and just saying, "So wait, are we going? Because I'm not like okay,
yeah. Come on, let's go.
all right." So
Does
is it,
Amethyst go through
So
the
I
portal?
try to lead her.
I mean,
in
I think
first, but-
she's waiting to make sure you're going to Alark.
I'm waiting for her to go first.
Okay.
I'm
So
going to turn.
I think
gesture.
we'll kind of stand there a little awkwardly, like looking at each other in front of this big purple fissure in space.
It's more like I'll gesture to her to go through, and then I'll turn around to back to Doak and the others, and I'm going to make a big show of trying to explain things to them,
Okay.
looking over my shoulder to kind of see if she's going through. But I have not changed back yet.
All right.
Does she go through? Does anybody pull her
Well,
through?
I mean, I think Amethyst is like suspicious that you're somehow trying to trick everybody. She's I think onto you doing something a little weird, but she kind of goes through, I guess. Yeah,
And
she
I will
goes
start
through.
to drop the form.
Okay.
And it takes me a minute. Hopefully the portal stays open. I can't tell.
Well, it stays open unless someone is deliberately sealing it.
I mean, they have various body parts that apparently seal.
No,
these
yeah, I
things,
would
so-
go through with full Amethyst.
I think where the other those of you who have gone through, and Jinxie incidentally has gone ahead and kind of pushed through as herself as well, and then I think once it is clear that Alaric has not immediately followed you all through, Zorath is standing on the other side. You're all in it's a rocky room, like in an underground cavern lit by a single torch, and he is just standing there, just saying, "It's up to you if you wish to bring him or not."
He comes with.
yeah, he'll be along in a second. Presently.
Very well.
He's carrying a little extra weight for whatever reason.
Once I see that Amethyst has gone through, I'm immediately going to where the hole was already dug for the grave.
Okay.
And I'm gonna come back through there.
All right.
Drop the body in the grave. Well, I'm turning back. Does it turn that?
Oh,
back with
okay.
me or
Okay.
not?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. If you turn back, then okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Turn back with you.
I'm going to run as fast as I can back to Doak and specifically to Carrot and Stick, actually.
Okay.
I'm sorry. We all are. Things got.
I think.
There's a lot of things happening. There's a grave just covered over. I didn't have time. No need for anything more than a simple marker. Just over yonder. I'm really sorry. And
They get kind of a bunch of solemn nods, and then Carrot's just kind of like, "Is that thing going to stay right there?"
no, I'm surprised it stayed this long, but it should close up behind me, one way or the other.
Well, everyone kind of left in a hurry, so I do just want to, since you got a minute, looks like I just want to let you guys know, Melicanth gets in over her head, as I'm sure you have discovered, but I do believe that she does have the best of intentions. That said, she's
Yeah.
also really wrapped up in this. I think that what she has been wrapped up in is an imprisonment spell. So I'm gonna kind of slip you one of these on the side, and she hands you those dispelling scissors that she used to break the petrification circle in the stone giant city.
You're kidding me.
And you just say,
Thank you.
you know, might want to keep those on the down low until you have the opportune moment.
Yeah, I'll hide them.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
only got like 3 charges in there, but it's good, powerful stuff.
You've been more than kind, and you both have a great son. See to it that he has the support he needs to become the great person that he is, but there will be danger in the world, and I think that he'll be one of the ones that ends up facing it and making the world better.
Andrew and not Andrew,
Andrew.
excuse me, Carrot and Stick. Yeah, they both kind of just look at him and they kind of just hug him and they're saying, yeah, well, best of luck to you. I think as we've learned, and Doak kind of chimes in, is like, yeah, it seems like a lot's riding on it. So
Yeah. You be good, Doak.
thank
You
you.
are powerful and wise.
Thank you. And
I'll hide the
don't
scissors on
sell
myself
yourself
somewhere.
short either.
I've been short my whole life. It's never going to change.
And then I think Stick kind of chuckles despite herself there. She's trying, and then she kind of just tries.
You be careful. Be safe. And I'm going to turn. I'm going to take the scissors and stuff them up underneath my doublet, I guess,
All right.
and make sure they don't look too awkward. And then march over to the portal if it's still there.
Yeah, it is.
We weren't supposed to go through them. And I step through.
All right. So I think as you have now joined the others, you all had kind of a slightly awkward moment as you're waiting for Alaric, presumably coming through, and I think Zorath after 30 seconds or so is kind of like, are you sure he's coming?
We're sure.
I really didn't intend that we would just be waiting here.
If Alaric is anything, he's loyal. He'll be back.
You know, in my experience, loyalty is inevitably punished.
Well, then you haven't had some great experiences.
That would be an understatement. So I think after another little bit of an awkward moment there, and Jinxie starts to whistle a little bit, the Alaric pops through as well.
That's not a pleasant experience.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's a bit of vertigo as you pass through. And so as you pass through, you also find yourself in this dimly lit, by a single torch cavern room that looks like it's actually been semi-furnished in the sense that the floor has been leveled out and there is a small wooden table in addition to the torch up on the wall, but otherwise it's a pretty bare cavern with the tunnels that go off in 2 different directions, and the room still holds this purple tear that just hovers in the
starts to
center
laugh.
of the room.
You know, it took us how long for me to come full circle all over again?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
I'd say welcome home, but it's not quite the same.
As long as I'm not chased by some bloodthirsty automaton and look over at Zorath, we should be all right.
I don't think we've properly met, and he actually holds out a hand as though to shake your hand.
I don't think you're terribly proper from everything I've heard about you. But I think your name is Zorath, right?
That's correct.
Is that your full name?
It's enough. And
Zorath
just to
is-
refresh everybody's memories, what Zorath actually looks like, he is certainly humanoid. His skin, though, is the color of stainless steel, and with a little bit of that shimmer to it. And his eyes, sort of a bright emerald green. And he has actually grown a bit of like scruff on his chin since you last saw him. But he is dressed in like fine clothing, like sort of like a noble might wear.
Is he human or elf? Or
You believe that he doesn't look like any of those things. Make a. Mm, I'm trying to remember. No, okay, no. You encountered Genasi in Ushbithra. There's a Genasi there, for example. Doke's friend was an air Genasi. He
Right.
is an Earth Genasi.
well then,
I just realized I've still got the nighttime farmland ambiance on. That doesn't apply anymore.
I scraped the nighttime farmland off
Give
my
the
body.
change.
Yeah. So, and I think he looks at all of you and just kind of then nods his head over to the fisher and says, "I'm interested to see what happens when you try it."
I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna. Nira's impulsive. What the hell? I'm just gonna
No.
brush it with my shoulder.
All
Gonna,
right.
gonna bump up against it.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Great. Oh, that wasn't bad. +3. That's a 19.
Okay. You take 4 psychic damage as the energy from this fissure sort of rebounds against your shoulder and pushes you back a few inches, and the fissure remains. And he kind
All
of
right,
says,
Fancy pants, you open the door, you close it.
"Well, it doesn't
heck?
quite work like that.
Okay.
I wondered if that might be the case. You see, due to my colleague here fumbling the turnover a little bit, the artifact itself has been imprisoned along with our wood elf friend."
Oh, great.
Well, whose stupid plan was that? Oh, yours. Sorry.
And I think at this point, Jinxie just kind of says, "How was I supposed to know that this guy has fiendo vision or something?"
It's just a glint in your eyes, darling. Just a glint in your eyes.
X-ray specs.
Well, look, I did what I could. I made it happen. Here we are. Let's not dwell on the past.
Who the hell are you, anyway?
The past is the whole reason that we're here.
She
We
kind
have
of
to
looks
dwell
back
on
at
it.
you, Alaric, and just kind of says, "Who the hell are you? I knew these guys before you showed up."
My name is Alaric, and I've been traveling with them as a trusted friend. Who the hell are you?
She holds out her hand.
Trouble.
Jinxie. Yeah, she's right. But Jinxie
Well,
is what you can call me.
I'll remember it.
We go way back. You might say 100 years back. Actually, even slightly further than
They told you guys
than
about.
Zorath
They
here.
told you about the temple. Have they told you the whole story? Did they tell you about me?
I don't remember you ever coming up.
Oh, you guys, come on, really?
I mean, there were definitely some annoyances they pointed out in the story, but I don't think you in particular ranked anywhere near any of the rest.
Well, Lark, remember how we tell you that when we let people live, it comes back to bite us in the end? Jinxie here is one of those things.
Yeah. Well, it just so happens that I was in the original temple. I was working with some guys, just doing a security gig, and then these guys come through, they blow up the world, and then what do I know next? I got all sorts of juice, magic juice, telling me do all sorts of fun stuff, and I was doing fun stuff, and then they show up again. They just keep showing up. We're all connected now. It's
Right, so you're
kind of
just
exciting.
You're
But then-
just an innocent victim. Is that what you're trying to play?
I never said I was innocent.
That's clear.
But I wasn't the
Or-
one who blew up the world either, so there's that.
No, you were just standing security for the people who were trying to blow up the world. I get it.
Well, and he kind of just looks over at Zorth. It's like, I don't think he was trying to blow up the world, but I didn't ask a lot of questions, if you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
Melicanth was like, we were all set. We were going to do a thing. We had made an agreement. We were going to go out and be adventuring colleagues. And then Melicanth whispered in their ears, and they turned on me. And then Melicanth banished me to Pandemonium. Not fun. I didn't appreciate that, but I'm not holding it against you guys.
In
Yeah.
fairness, I think we were the ones that put the bug in Melicanth's ear, so sorry.
Well, whatever. I'm not
It's
one
funny,
to
it seems such
hold
like a-
grudges
You seem like
against.
such a likable, trustable companion. I wonder why they decided not to have you travel along with them.
I think
Instead,
you'll find
just-
it growing you. Anyway,
Well, you're gonna.
and then at this point, Zorth just kind of says, "Anyway, my employee here was simply intended to get Melicanth out of the way. That's accomplished. And even though the artifact is imprisoned in the gem with her, at the very least, it is safe. At any rate, probably safer than it was in her possession otherwise."
Yeah, your definitions of safe, seeing this open portal right here, don't mount to squat.
This, and he just kind of like gestures at the portal and it just says, "This is nothing."
This is nothing.
I have a question. How do you do that, and can we do that?
I am intrigued by that question because it is apparent to me that the nature of our connection to the artifact seems to be different. For one, you did not find your souls scattered amongst the infinite planes.
Well, that may have something to do with your original involvement with it.
Or weak soul.
Could be. But, in any event, I cannot close them. I can open them. You can close them, apparently. I don't know if you can open them. For my own experience, it was instinctive. I just
Yeah, it's
knew
kind of-
that I could do it.
It was more trial and error on our part. Curiosity, poking things that we shouldn't,
In any event, as we cannot close this at this time, I believe we should move on.
Just gonna leave it here.
What do
We
you
don't have a
propose?
choice.
Put a wall on this side so that nobody can walk through it. Innocents couldn't walk through it. They'd be stopped at least.
Very well. He kind of steps back and waves his hand, and stone just swells up from the ground and sort of swallows it in about a 5-foot sphere of stone.
Good call.
Okay, that's kind of impressive.
We're on my turf.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I have so many questions.
I have questions for you. I understand that at first you may have thought yourselves heroes going around and just closing these fissures willy-nilly. Is that always the extent of your plan? Just close the fissures and hope that that works out?
It was at one point, but we've been gaining knowledge as we go. It would be, it's nice to get a different side, different perspective, more information. I do not think it is wise to just blindly leap. Certainly.
In defense of ourselves, I guess. The only person that ever called us heroes was Mugen, so
Well, let me use an analogy that I think will express the difference between your approach and mine. If you see these fissures as cuts in the universe, and you are attempting to bandage them so that they may heal, I would suggest to you that the universe has become infected, and that simply sealing the opening without clearing the infection does more harm than good.
Alaric, what did that halfling woman say to you? Trying to remember exactly what it was. The crazy one in the cave with the stone giants.
Said a lot of things.
She'd been touched. I've been calling it fissure touched.
Hmm.
But she spoke of some great power outside of our planes trying to get in.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
greater powers were trying to take over the world.
Interesting.
There's another player. Something
will
else
have-
is doing this.
We will have much to discuss, I know, but for now, let us move on. Will you follow voluntarily? You have come through the fissure this far.
Yeah, I'm all in. I want answers.
Same.
Very well. And then he leads you out through one of the tunnels in this room. You're following, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tunnel actually doesn't stretch more than about 30 seconds walk before it opens up into an enormous cavernous space, a mile or more across. The entire inner surface of this huge opening glittering with crystals of all different colors, some of them extending, hundreds of feet from the side of this cavern, and creating a city of sorts, as though there are tall buildings along the entire inner surface of this enormous spherical structure, with little gantryways and catwalks leading to and fro from all of these different crystals, and the openings carved into them to allow access to the interior like buildings. And all of it lit with these strange floating orbs of light hovering in the center.
I don't believe it.
The whole interior glitters and gleams like almost like stars.
There were stories.
So is Amethyst okay, or is she like pitching a fit?
I think that she is. Once she realized that you left the body behind, Alaric, she is. She's being kind of very pouty, but she doesn't really know what to do.
Alaric,
She's-
despite himself, is in awe and kind of not even noticing anything at this point.
And Zorath just says, "It's impressive, isn't it?
I don't.
Do you think that if you had called this place home and then were banished to an ordinary place, bare rock, lacking in this splendor, that you would not give a great deal to return?"
Yeah. Yeah, I probably would. It's like the stories when I was a kid.
And he's
Mountains.
leading you up along sort of stairway that kind of goes up along the outside of this, heading up towards an enormous sort of gleaming aquamarine crystal, the size of a castle. It extends upward at kind of like a 45-degree angle into this interior surface.
But no other people around?
There's people in the distance, no one in the immediate vicinity, but you see figures kind of moving around, making their way in what is apparently an occupied city. They are other Earth Genasi, the ones that you see.
Is the whole world like this?
It's an entire plane. Not all of it looks like this, of course. any more than the caverns that you knew and called home looked like the entirety of that plane. But, this being the elemental plane of Earth, more of it looks like this than in the plane you come from.
Didn't
Wow.
believe you. I didn't know where you were taking us, but I didn't believe you. No.
And he leads you into this enormous sort of aquamarine crystal palace area, and there's various, luxurious furnishings in this place that has apparently been carved out of otherwise solid crystal, and it's very ornate. And he leads you, down a couple of hallways along it's elegant, like, woven, rugs that with very ornate patterns, and into a sitting room that has a polished marble low table with a few cushions sitting around it.
I look for tool marks on the table.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Is it with advantage for stone cunning?
Yes.
Wow, that's terrible. That's an 18.
It is of exquisite make, but you do see signs that it was in fact carved with tools. But it is very high caliber.
I'll be running my fingers along the edge and kind of noting the dimensions and the shape and the quality of the cuts.
And Zorath kind of gestures at all of you to sit and says, "Are any of you requiring rest or refreshment? We have a lot to discuss, but there is no longer any urgency."
It's been a long day, that's for sure.
Yes.
How can
Use both.
I trust anything here?
I
I'm going to trust you.
I have so many questions, I'm not sure I would sleep, though.
Would you sleep in any case?
I might. Like I said, it's been a really, really long day. Fiends and portals and
I understand.
Fey-touched elves and... it's such a mess.
There's a lot to process. I understand that you would not trust me, nor would I expect you to especially like me. However, you are safe here. I can provide rooms. If you wish to set watches, be my guest. However, you have followed me this far.
Can I insight check his declaration of safety?
Yes, go ahead.
22.
He seems like he's kind of taking it almost like a point of pride that he can keep you safe. That he is not intending to, like, do anything to you himself, and that he's, like, it's a power play, almost. That, like, you're safer here than you would be anywhere else, that kind of thing.
I don't see that he has any reason to kill us right at this moment. I don't think he would gain anything from it.
Seems like legit parlay.
I don't think he cares one way or the other about what lives and what dies, as long as he gets what he wants.
Right.
What
Like
I
right
want
now, we won't give him
is
anything.
for the universe not to end. Do you share that aim?
Absolutely.
I think it would be easier with our help, so
Then our interests are aligned.
yes. I could use a drink.
Oh, same.
As he waves his, he removes a wand from his belt and points it towards a long hallway on the other side of the room, and you start hearing like clattering of like dishes, and then they start hovering into the room as though carried by perhaps a halfling-sized being, but there you don't see anything. They just float in. And,
Can I look through my ring
Mhm.
to see what? Okay, I'm gonna look through the ring, see if there's some kind of illusion.
There is
Magic.
actually no illusion. It is simply a magical effect. There's nothing there to see. It is just a magical effect.
Interesting.
You can make an Arcana check if you like.
Sure. I think that's just a +3. Yeah. 15.
Okay. Yeah, you are familiar that there is a spell known as Unseen Servant, and that appears to be what this is. And so you can command it as though it were a being that is acting as a servant, but there's really no actual being or creature. It's really just a magical effect to replicate that effect. But these platters come in and are lifted up. And they're very elegant dishes and fine food of semi-familiar make. Like some of it looks vaguely familiar. It smells pretty good. I think Amethyst maybe has. Let me make sure she has a spell slot for detect poison or whatever that spell is that she has.
Purify food and drink.
Purify food and drink. Yeah. I think she would probably cast that if if she has it. I think she probably does. Let's see. Nope, she does not have that spell prepared right now. I think maybe she pops a good berry and then just kind of looks at him defiantly. And he kind of just shrugs. It is available if you wish it. If you proceed down that hallway, you will find rooms. I imagine you will find them comfortable. When you wish to speak, you may summon me by saying my name. In the meantime, I have preparations of my own to make. We can speak tomorrow if you like. But we will have a lot to discuss, and then once we have discussed those things, we will have a lot to do. And I think we'll go ahead and leave it there for tonight.
I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of been hoping this would happen for a while.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I was gonna have Archie grab a pint, and kind of show that he's all in, and then use the thaumaturgy to have the sound of an accordion.
So, yes, this is a big change of circumstance. I will go ahead and confirm that the magic items that you were expecting are in that bag of holding. So you do actually have a second bag of holding now that has the original items that were discussed as part of that deal, which I will remind you all just because it's fun to think about. Let me.
Yeah,
There is definitely a lightning rod in there, and I am so claiming that.
Is it a javelin? Because I'm good with javelin.
It is.
Shouldn't
Well,
we
yeah.
have the
So
lightning rod
there
to
was
summon
a.
you? I'm thinking we should have the lightning rod so we can summon Nirkina.
So the what you I'm pretty sure it was. You know what? I might have to re-listen just to make sure what everything I listed is on here, because I think this list that I have actually includes a couple of things that weren't in there. What I'm just going to say is that this is the list of what you find in the bag, which includes like the powerful stuff and a few other just little miscellaneous items. You have the Qualls Feather Token, the bird version, which essentially summons a giant bird that you can ride for travel purposes. There's a necklace of fireballs with 3 beads remaining. A portable hole,
My notes
Oh,
said
the portable
forward.
hole actually you find rolled up and pinned to the side of the bag of holding.
Yeah, that can't go in the bag
With
of
a
holding.
loop. Yeah, with a little piece of string on there, just to a little tag that'll say "Do not put in the bag of holding." And a cloak of elven kind, a cloak of billowing. The cloak of many fashions you bought already, so that's different. There's not another one of there. The hat of vermin. She went ahead and gave you those. The gloves of missile snaring, javelin of lightning, and essentially that is, it's you throw it like a javelin and it becomes like a lightning bolt. Slippers of spider climbing, an oath bow, which is just a powerful magic bow, and then the tome of clear thought.
What was the Tome of Clear Thought again? I'm trying
If
to.
you have to spend something like 48 hours over 6 days reading it, but if you are able to read the right amount in the allotted time, it will permanently raise your intelligence score by 2.
Yeah, I want that. I want that.
Takes
so
100
much.
years to recharge.
Yeah.
You can have everything.
No, I just all I really want. Well, I'm not gonna lie. That lightning javelin, I have to have that because I don't think I don't think I'm the my ability to ride the lightning. I'm trying to remember. I think that spell doesn't have to originate from me.
If the question is, can you throw the javelin and have it be a lightning bolt and then travel along that lightning? The answer is yes.
Yes. But like if somebody else throws it, I don't think I can do that.
No,
Right.
no. Unless they threw
Unless
it
it goes
at
through
you.
Right.
But then I think, I feel like when I originally conceived it, you can only travel along in the direction that the lightning bolt is going.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. And the robe of scintillating colors is the one she bought.
No, the robe of scintillating colors, what you guys was one of the things that could be made from
Oh,
flail
okay.
snail shell.
Okay, that's right. And the other one was Belgard shield.
Right. I don't
Possible to make.
think that was ever officially agreed on. I don't. You know what? I will re-listen to that episode and make sure that everything that was originally part of that deal is included.
Yeah, I just had possible to make,
Yeah.
not whether. Yeah.
Right. Because she made the I think she made all of the trinkets, the charms, but I don't think you guys had decided on getting one of those other things.
Oh, cool.
But I will confirm that and make sure that you guys have access to the appropriate things, which you can decide how emotional you feel about using all of Melicant's old party's magic items.
Nira's not precious about it.
I could care
All right.
less.
So I think we'll leave it there for tonight. So thank you, everybody who is watching in the chat. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you guys. And we'll be back next week for more adventure on
So
many levels.
And just as a added note, I think we are going to have Curse of Strahd on Saturday. So, all right, getting close to the end of that one. Good night, everybody.
Good night.